Hello, today we are going to do some chair yoga. Now you can use any chair, so a good sturdy chair, and it can have arms or it doesn't have to have arms. So although mine hasn't got arms, if yours does have arms, that's absolutely fine. And in fact, for some things, it might be useful to have the arm there. So you want to be able to be comfortable in your chair. You don't necessarily have to be leaning back, because some of the time you might need to be away from the back. Depending on the height of the chair and the length of your legs, you may also want to have a block or a book or two underneath the feet, which can raise up the height of your knees and give you some sort of just a different feeling. So you can always have that under the feet if it feels that's a better height for the chair. Okay, so we can do a range of movements for joint mobility and muscular work, and keeping a range of movement going in our body from a sitting position. So if you've got any issues, remember, just be mindful of whatever you're working with or whatever is going on at the moment, and take it easy. And yes, that's the main things. Okay, we'll start as we would normally start a yoga session. So sit comfortably. You could lean back if that's comfortable for the back, or sit upright. Let the hands relax down on the lap or on your armrests. Relax the shoulders. You could look ahead or turn the chin down slightly, half close or fully close the eyes. We'll begin with a long, slow inhale through the nose. Exhale out through a mouth, open mouth. Another one of those, a long, slow inhale out through the open mouth. Sigh it out. Good. And then a few normal breaths. Just allow the natural breath to come and go. And as you follow the breath, notice the pattern of thoughts and where the mind is going as you breathe. And then moving your awareness from the physical element of the breath and the mind, will move to the body. So start to scan around the body, either top to toe, or if there's particular areas that you want to focus on, take a moment to pause in each area, see how it feels. So that might be sensations, energy levels, awareness of what's going on in the body. And then travelling from the toes and the feet and on the floor or on your book, travel up through the legs to the base of the spine, travel up the spine to the top of the head. Breathe in, nice big long in breath, long out breath. Refocus on sensations under the feet, under the bottom. And then picture where you're sitting, the space around you, and slowly come back to the room. Okay, good. So as I said, we can do a range of movements for the whole body. Most of the joints we can still access from a sitting position. We'll start at the top. We'll start with our head and neck movements. So simple turns from side to side. Keeping it as just the head and the neck, not letting the shoulders necessarily come into it. So it doesn't matter how far you look round. If you move your shoulders, they'll just make you go a bit further. It's not a twist, it's just a head and neck movement. Okay, do both sides equally, then come back to the middle. And then we'll go forwards and back in. Forwards and in. We'll do a couple more of these. Okay, bring the chin back in. And then just release them. You might need a couple of shoulder circles. And we'll do our chin pendulum. So with the chin in its sort of more natural position, bring it down towards the top of your collarbone, so right at the top of the clavicle. And you might then lift your chest up slightly if you felt like you'd kind of curved and slumped a little. From here, it's the chin pendulum, so draw it up towards one shoulder and let it roll back down to the middle, and then roll it up to the second side, second shoulder, and roll back down. So you can go nice and slowly, maybe in time with your breath would be helpful. So you might inhale as you roll it up, and exhale as you roll it back down. Nice and smooth. Okay, we'll do one more. Roll up. Or one more each side, or finish the sides that you're doing so you've done both sides equally. When you come back to the middle, just rest there for a moment and then draw the chin in as you lift the head up. Good, and come back to the room. Okay. We'll move down into our shoulders, so we'll start with our elbow circles. So fingertips onto the shoulders, and we'll take some nice elbow circles. Although they're called elbow circles, it's actually moving your shoulders. So we'll do a few of these. We'll take one more here. And then relax the arms down. Okay. Interlace the fingers in front. Turn the palms away. Inhale, lift the arms up. Oh, if this isn't possible, so yes, I just realised different people doing chair yoga have got different things. So if it's not possible to be straightening your arm, you might just lift both arms up or lift the one arm up. Doesn't matter what you're doing. We'll reach up with one or both hands, any hand and finger position, and then lower back down. Okay. Good. We'll come back to our shoulders. We're going to take parts of the cow face arms. So whichever one you want to start with, we'll lift one arm up, bend at the elbow and take the hand behind. Now you can stay here with this arm raised. The other hand doesn't have to be doing anything. Or if it's convenient, you might gently encourage the top hand down behind you slightly. So just working into your shoulder mobility on this side, range of movement in the shoulder joint, and then we'll release. Okay. Second side. So if it's convenient, take the arm up and behind and take the hand towards the back of the head and the neck, just wherever it lands. And again, you can rest there, or you could use the other hand to gently encourage a little further. Still breathing, and then we'll release. Okay, we'll carry on with the shoulders for another couple. So this time we're going to go behind the back. So take one arm behind you. You might need to sit a little forwards in your chair to do this. Take the hand behind and let it rest there. Now, depending on your shoulder range of movement, flexibility in the shoulder joint of the arm that you've moved, depending on how long the arms are and the back, the broadness of the back, you may find you can hold on to the other arm, or the other arm might not be available there, so it doesn't matter. We're just taking this hand around the back and let it rest. And if you feel like you want to take it a little further, keep doing so. this is trying to open a little bit or bring a bit more movement and to take the shoulder further back. So often when we're sitting, we sit a little bit rounded. We're trying to take the shoulder further back. Good. And release. Take the hand out from behind. We'll take the other arm around. And remember, if only one side is possible, then you can skip your second side. It doesn't matter. So we take the hand behind the back. Don't worry about how far it goes round, and just see where it gets to and how it feels in the shoulder. So we're looking to try and move the shoulder further back by encouraging it further round. Good. And then release. Okay, we'll relax those shoulders. Time to let those shoulders have a little break. We'll take some spinal movements now. So kind of going down top to toe. So the spine, we can take our classic twists, we can do our side bends. We're going to do both of those, starting with the side bend. So if you've got a hand rest, you might be using your arm against the armrest or put your hand there. If you haven't got an armrest, you might hold the side of the seat or just let your hand stay on the thigh. Inhale the spare arm up if you're going to be able to do that with your arm, and then side bend over. Staying face on, so we're side bending only, shortening from the armpit to the hip. And then we'll release, bring the arm down. Okay. Second side, so again, you could leave your hand resting on your thigh, hold onto the armrest or hold the seat. Maybe the other arm will come up. If the other arm's not going to lift up, you can still do your side bend. You just lean sideways. So we're shortening armpit to hip. So your arms don't have to be involved in this. And then release. Okay. Come back to the middle. We can take our seated twist as well. So again, you might want to be slightly away from the back of the chair for this. And again, you can use one or two arms or no arms at all for a twist. So sitting face on to begin with. If you're going to raise one or two arms, we'll inhale and lift them up. Otherwise, just inhale and sort of lift the head up to the ceiling. And then exhale, turn your body round to one side. And if you're using your arms, you bring them back down at that point. I'm holding onto the back of the chair and my leg. So you might find that you're holding onto bits of the chair or a leg or whatever's there. Stay in twist here for a couple more breaths. Just relax the belly, relax the breath, breathe out. Good, then come back and we'll go to the second side. So just make sure that you're sitting in a comfortable place that you can turn to the second side. So I'll do this side without arms just as an example. So I'm going to inhale and lift and feel taller in the spine, and then exhale round to the twist. Hold on to whatever is convenient, or you can keep both hands quite low down. Maybe one's just reaching behind the back of the bottom into your twist. Again, once you're in the twist, relax the breath, breathe out. Stay for another breath if it's comfortable, and then we'll come back. Good. Okay, so moving down. Oh no, we'll still do our spine. We'll do our seated cat. So you might want to be a little further away from the back of the chair. You might be just fine where you are. So for seated cat, we can hold on to our knees or our thighs or have the arms down by the sides. But I find holding on is probably easier. I'm just going to turn sideways, but you can stay as you are. So we're going to round the spine. You can let your arms bend. Look down at the thighs, and then lift your front ribs and lift the sternum, lift the collarbones and take that arch into the gentle, well, not too big, just arch up and back. And then we'll round. So you're curving round, head is coming slightly closer to the belly and the thighs, and then lift up. Take that gentle back extension. Keep going. And do the breathing that works best for you. Whichever part of the movement you want to do, your inhale or your exhale. Just keep the breathing going. This is really good for the spine. So if you are sitting a lot and you find that that causes lower backache, this is a nice one to do. We'll do one more, unless you've had enough, in which case stop. So the next time you open up the back extension, open the front of the body into your back bend, then we'll ease out of it and sit back. So you can always just lean against the back of the chair, catch your breath. Okay, good. So from there, we're going to move down into our hips now. So you can do some hip and leg movement. Now, depending if you've got issues going on with knees or ankles or hips, then just be mindful and remember you can always miss one side out or modify as best you need to. Okay, we're going to start with the hip by doing hip circles. So we're going to lift up one knee, out to the side a bit and back down. So these we do when we're standing, it's exactly the same, but we're sitting down. It can be relatively small, it's fine, just keeping that joint mobile. Okay, and then rest down. And the other side, if you're going to do the other side, we'll lift the knee up, circle it out and down. So keeping joints mobile and moving is really good because it keeps all the tissues around the joint. We'll do one more here and down. It keeps everything moving, so all the blood and all the other fluids that are going through the body and all the systems like the nerves and everything, they all need to be able to freely move. And so going through joints is really, they need to be able to go through and around, and keeping the joints mobile is then enabling everything to flow freely and get blood and everything to all the other parts of the body. Okay, so if this is appropriate for you, we're going to do a seated apasana where we bring the knee, when we're normally lying down, we bring the knee towards the chest. We can do that. So pick up one knee and you could hold the knee and draw it in towards you. So don't worry about what you normally can do when you're lying down. Just see how much you're comfortable lifting the knee up. And then we'll release down. If it's appropriate to do the second side, again, lift it up, squeeze slightly in your hip flexor as you draw the thigh slightly closer to the chest, whatever you can manage, and down. We'll do that once more each side, unless you're just doing one side, and you can repeat. And you might prefer to do shorter holds and do little and often rather than staying and holding in one position. So you could be lifting it up, lowering it down, up and down instead. Swap sides. I forgot to say I've swapped sides. Good. And release. Okay. Then we're going to lengthen out the legs if it's appropriate. So I will just turn sideways for a moment. Okay. So we're going to lengthen out the leg and do some knee hinges if this is appropriate for you. Okay. So you're going to lift one leg up. We'll stay on one side, we'll do a few of these, moving the knee. It might be that you need to do a very small movement. Okay, do one more there and release, and then your second leg. Again, only if it's appropriate to be doing both legs. Lifting and lowering, so working your knee joint. Keep breathing. Good, we'll do one more, and then down. Okay, then we're going to work the hamstring and the back of the legs. So you might want to have your heel resting on something, and it might need to be bigger, higher up support than the floor, or if you had one book, you might need to have a second book on top. So rest one heel on the support, unless the floor is at an appropriate place for you. It depends on the length of the chair, the height of the chair rather, and everything else. So we've got one leg raised slightly, and we're going to lean forwards just a small degree, and then you might start feeling it down the back of the leg. If you're not feeling anything, we can experiment with the ankle. So Flex into your ankle by drawing the toes up towards you as if you're trying to meet the head and the toes, and that will really increase it up the back of the leg. So if it gets too much, you can ease off and kind of relax the ankle but keep folding forwards, and then you can reapply that flexion in the ankle to activate the back muscles up the back of the leg. Good. And then ease out. Okay. And then you might want to just point the toes slightly and feel that maybe up the front of the leg. Good. Change sides. So if it's appropriate to lengthen out your other leg, rest the heel on your books or your footstool. Footstool would be ideal here. Okay, start off with maybe a relaxed ankle. Sit tall, and then we'll hinge forwards at the hips, hands resting on the thighs as you go forwards or down the legs. Just a small amount forwards, whatever feels right for you. And then if you want to activate your ankle, so you flex, push your heel away, try and point your toes up towards your head and feel that up the back of the leg. Breathe. If it's too much, ease out of the ankle. Keep folding forwards though, and if you want a bit more again, you just reapply that ankle flexion and push through the heel. Maybe one more breath, and then we'll release. We'll come up. Okay, so if it didn't quite feel right, I should have said, you could experiment with sitting slightly further away on the chair, like towards the front of the chair, and that might make it a little easier to go a little further. So just experiment next time and see whether you want to sit further forwards. Okay, good. Now, the other things that we can do is some ankle mobility. So you can have your blocks in front or just as you were, you don't have to have them. Okay, you can just have the one foot raised slightly off the floor so you can clear the floor and start to take ankle circles round one way and then the other, unless your ankle is in plaster or something like that. And then point and flex. And then you may give it a little shake, and you can shake the whole leg maybe, depending on your leg and if it's appropriate to do that. And then place the foot down. Second side, so we'll lengthen the leg away so we've got space to rotate the ankle and then go round the other way. And then point and flex. And then if it's appropriate, just give the leg a little shake. Okay, good. Then place the foot back down. We'll take a forward fold now, so as if we were doing a Paschimottanasana. If you wish to, you can raise the arms, one arm or both arms, or just keep the arms down, resting on the legs. So we're going to inhale, and then exhale and roll forwards or fold forwards. You might bring the hands down and lean your body forwards. So depending on any kind of restrictions in the upper body or in the lower body, how far you go is up to you. We're folding forwards. Let the chin come in and rest there. So you might be right down on the thighs. You might be holding the thighs with your hands and leaning at a 45-degree angle. Or you might be resting elbows on the thighs and leaning maybe at a 60-degree angle. Head and chin are in. Keep breathing here, just relax. And then we'll slowly come back up. Ease yourself up. And if it's appropriate, if you could lift one or both arms up. Big inhale. And a long exhale, lower the arms down, either in front of you or down by the sides. And then rest them down. And we'll do another one of those. If you're not using your arms, imagine lifting your head higher up to the ceiling and lengthening up through the whole spine. So we'll inhale again, reach up if you're reaching up with the arms. Otherwise, reach up with your head, feel really tall through the spine, and then exhale, release. Lowering the arms or just breathing out as you relax back down to a more natural sitting position. And we'll rest there. Okay, so then we'll finish with some mindful breathing. So we can finish the class much like we finish in any other class, with some seating to mindfulness. So again, make sure the feet are comfortable, either on the floor or raised on a book or something. Relax the shoulders. You could be leaning against the back of your chair or sitting up. Let the hands feel comfy. Spine is tall. Belly is soft and relaxed. You could let the eyes just be softly focused or fully closed. We'll have a long, slow inhale through the nose. Out through an open mouth, just sigh it out. Then come back to your natural breath. Start by following the flow of your breath in and out. And we'll do a visualization. So we're going to choose a colour that feels good for you. So it might be a colour that makes you think of healing, or a colour that makes you think of calming, or a colour that would be good for energizing. Something that's good for you, and it might change every time you do this. So we are going to imagine that we're sitting somewhere outside. You could be sitting in a chair, you could be sitting on the floor, you could be leaning against a tree, you could be in any environment. So we're sitting comfortably. And then we imagine this beam of light coming down onto the top of our head. It's the colour that you've chosen. And this light starts to come through into the skull, into our head, the shoulders, starts to fill the arms and the upper body with the colour. And this colour that you've chosen is bringing good vibes. So whatever the quality of the colour is that you've chosen, whatever it feels or represents for you, we're bringing that into the body as we start to fill with the colour. So it's reached the pelvis, starts to spread down through the legs. Everything it touches, it either heals or energizes or calms, whatever the sensations and qualities are that you need. It comes all the way down to the toes and the heels and the soles of the feet underneath. The whole body is bathed in the light. Each breath makes the light colour move all the way around the body, making sure all parts are reached. You might be using words to help. To help reinforce the qualities that you want. And then we'll slowly imagine the light beam being slowly dimmed, as if it's on a dimmer switch. It's slowly fading, but it's leaving the body fully bathed in the colour still. And then gradually the colour's beginning to fade as well. But it's leaving behind all the qualities that we need right now. So eventually you feel like the colour has finally faded away from the toes, the legs, spine, the head, and all around you. Refocus on the sensation under the actual feet where you are. Picture the space around you where you really are now. And slowly come back to the room. And then reopen the eyes. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me. So that visualization, depending on what colour you've chosen, it might have not done anything for you. It might have felt quite calming, or it might, in whatever quality you chose, it might have brought that in. Some people find visualizations don't really work for them, so that's fine. It was some nice calming breathing anyway. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that and your body will feel a little freer and you feel like you've moved and stretched. Have a good day. Bye bye.